Brendan, first of all, congratulations on your Manager of the Month award. How does it feel?
Yeah, listen, it's a great testament to how consistent the players were and how well they'd done and performed, and obviously for the staff here at the club. I'm obviously the figurehead for the team, but there's a lot of great work goes on in behind that. So yeah, it's congratulations to everyone.
Domestically, it was a perfect spell between the two international breaks there. How confident are you can kick on from here, and what is the aim for these next 5-6 games before the November international break?
We've got 7. We get 7 games in 21 days, so there's a lot of work that's going into that. But it's a really exciting run of games. And we don't assume just coming off the back of doing really well that it will just continue. It's hard work. It's a relentless mentality every single day, and then take that intensity into the game. So that's our aim for the weekend starting.
In terms of injuries, longer term ones, how is everyone looking? Nawrocki, Maeda pulled out of the Japan squad. Is he available this weekend?
Yeah, Dyson's okay. He just had a slight knock after the Kilmarnock game. So, and with it being friendlies, I think the communication between our medical team and their medical team meant that he didn't have to travel. So, he was able to have some treatment for a few days, but he's been training now over a week, so he's absolutely fine. Mike, as you say, he's back in now. This is him 10 days or so into his training. So. Getting sharper every day and finding his football fitness, so that's really good news.
Will he be in the squad at the weekend?
We'll have a look at that. We will still to finalise what the squad will look like, but most important thing is he's back training and available.
And just in terms of everyone else, Stephen Welsh, Leal Abada, are they still out at the moment?
Yeah, Stephen's probably another 2 weeks away from training with the team. He's out on the field working with the rehabilitation teams, and doing very, very well. Leal Abada is still a little bit of time away. December he was earmarked to come back, so he's still on course for that.
Just finally from me, big game at the weekend. What are you expecting over there?
It's always a tough game. Always a tough game, but everyone is tough, and we've had that early part of the season. We've been to some really tough places and got some really good results. So we know we have to work hard. We have to play with our quality. And like I said, we don't assume that we can just turn up and win. We'll have to work very hard, play with the quality and speed that we can do, and like I said, hopefully get the result.
It's probably another ground that you'd have been used to going to and having the whole stand full of Celtic supporters. Does it change the dynamic for you when you're going there and there's going to be a kind of small pocket? Does the experience at Ibrox maybe help with that as well?
Yeah, listen, I think I think any team playing, they go away, it's always nice to have, a fairly large group of your supporters there to give you that backing. But if they're not there, then we can't use that as an excuse. We've shown already with no supporters that we can get big results. So yeah, we'll be very much together, and the 500 odd supporters that were there, well, hopefully we can give them a really good day when they're there.
The allocation seems to have sparked a bit of a debate about away allocations in general, throughout the league, and possibly talk of maybe bringing in a rule that gives you a minimum percentage. Do you think that might be a good idea, just to help the atmosphere, to help Scottish football sell itself, given that the rivalry is a big factor in the game?
Yeah, I think so. Listen, it's every club's got every right to issue at this moment in time what it is they want to give to away supporters. So, but until something is standardised, then Hearts are more than willing to do that. Of course, as a Celtic manager, and I love to see more supporters in there, of course, because they come from all over the place to follow their team. So, but hopefully we can standardise a certain percentage for away supporters, and that allows all the supporters of all the teams to be able to go and watch their teams. And I think the idea around some of the grounds that in my first time here, and even now when I watch that aren't full, the idea is, of course, that to have, if there's more away allocation, that allows the ground to be filled, and obviously give money and resources to the away team. Then, of course, you would like to be able to do that, but I also understand it from a football perspective why maybe you wouldn't want so many away supporters in. So, but hopefully the federation can standardise a number, and then we'll know where we stand.
I just asked you about Leo Labada. There's been a lot of talk from him. Maybe he's a bit of pressure on him, maybe as well, from some pundits and back in Israel about what he should do in response to the banner that was up at the last game. Have you had to kind of chat to him to make sure he's all right about that? Is it a kind of difficult situation for him?
Yeah, I think I went for a meal with Leo last week, and just to see what he was thinking and where he was at. And he's fine. Naturally, he's saddened, like us all, really, by what is happening. It's a really divisive subject in terms of what is happening. But in terms of him, he knows he has the support of every true Celtic supporter, every person here at the club. We're all backing him and here with him. So, and like I said, like I'm sure those people that are very, very close to it, it's hard for a father to watch, and you see some of the images of what's going on. But if you're so close to it and from his country, then of course it's even harder. So, but he's okay. He's just concentrating on getting himself fit, and that's all he's concerned with.
He's still a very young man as well. Is that difficult for a situation for him to deal with when he's 21, 22?
Well, that's the whole idea of taking him out and having a bite to eat, just to think where he was at. He is. You forget that these guys, they're not, they're football players, but they're young men. He's 21 years of age in a foreign country. He's come over, learnt the language. He's done great for Celtic, and we're here for him to support him and help him.
Brendan, I think Sunday marks a quarter of the way into the domestic season against Hearts. How do you assess this season domestically so far?
Domestically, it's in terms of results, it's been fairly good. 7 out of 8. The St Johnstone game at home we should win. Performance is gradually getting better as we go through the season and work more together. Only blemish obviously being the cup game, which I was bitterly disappointed with. But with that comes learning and progress, hopefully. So yeah, and throughout everything that's sort of thrown at us at the beginning of the season, and injuries and everything else, the players have really come through it really, really well. So yeah, we're sat in a good place early on, but it's really early. There's a lot of work to do.
And one of those players that's come through really well is Liam Scales, made his international debut. How pleased are you for him?
Yeah, delighted. It's a great story. Maybe 6-7 weeks ago, wondering if he was going to be here, and as he sort of sits in here today, he's played in the Champions League and he's a full international, and I know he's very determined to keep it going. So, but that's how football can work. It's such an up and down career. You think you're in one place one moment, and then the next you get an opportunity, and of course you have to take it, and he's taken it with both hands. So I'm really pleased for him. He knows he's got to continue working hard, learning and developing, but he's a clever guy. He knows that he's done well, and in order now to stay in the team and keep working, he needs to keep improving.
And can he be an example that if you come into this team, perform well, you can keep that jersey, and regardless if players come back from injury, you can make that position yours?
Can do, but modern football has changed in terms of, like I said, we play 7 games in 21 days. I can tell you now it won't be the same team in all the games. So, but I think what you can do is you can give yourself a great opportunity to play as often as you can.
And Steve Clarke has taken Scotland now to 2 successive Euros, a man you've known for a long time. How thrilled are you for him and what he's done? Yeah,
I was delighted. I sent him a message when it happened, and I'm really pleased for Steve and his staff, and of course the players and the nation. It's absolutely brilliant for Scotland. They get a real group of players that are really talented, and when I see them play, they play like a club side. Steve's done brilliant and pulled them all together, and you now have that connection between the team and the supporters and everyone. So it's really upbeat for the country, and delighted for them. So they've got a couple of games to go, and they want to finish strong and finish well. But really, really pleased for him. He looks really happy to be leading his country, Steve, and delighted for him.
And last one, have you noticed Callum and Greg come back with a bit of spring in their step after qualification?
Yeah, spoke to him this morning, so yeah, really pleased. Greg gets a run out, Callum gets a rest, which was ideal. So yeah, it's very positive for the team and the country.
You spoke about Liam Screams earlier, Matt Riley got a Denmark call and he's just won Player of the Month as well. How pleased are you with him?
Yeah, very pleased. He's working with him closely now. I can see the real qualities that he have, and I can see the confidence that he's playing with. And I think he was very deserving of his call up. So hopefully in the coming years he can go on and make his international debut, but whilst performing well here for Celtic. So he's had a great start to this season, Matt, and I know he's very determined to consistently keep it going.
Another player on the fringes is Mikey Johnston. He scored for Ireland in the international break. He said you sent him a text. What's his future looking like at club?
Yeah, for me the biggest thing with Mikey was just about being fit. At the end of the window there was maybe a scramble a bit thinking about going out on loan, but he was coming off a really nasty back problem where he hadn't trained. So for me, between the end of the window and January, he had to prove that he could, one, stay fit, stay robust, and build up his football fitness. And then we'll see if we could get some game time, because he's a talented player. So thankfully he's been able to do that. He's gone away with the international team, got some minutes, which is great. And we'll see between now and January if he gets that game time. So, but he gets the chance to prove it every day in training. He looks strong, and I'm hopeful that he may get some game time.
Another player in the fringes is UK Kobayashi. Is he fit? And if so, he's someone you're looking to give more game time to, or maybe send out on loan somewhere?
Yeah, I've only got 11 players. The squad's is too big. That's the reality of it. So I can't fit in all the players even into a matchday squad. So, but he's certainly someone that's really professional. I think, in fairness to Yuki, he would have went out on loan before the end of the window, and he just got injured just before he went out. So, but he's training very well. It's not that he's doing anything wrong. His attitude's been fantastic, working hard. But we only have a limited number of centre halves that we can play.
Definitely. And just on Louis Palmer as well, he's seemed to bounce back from that disallowed goal against Lazio. He scored against Kilmarnock, done pretty well with Honduras and international duty. He's someone that's continuing to come to the fore. How pleased are you with him? Yeah,
very pleased. I never expect too much when players first come in. If they can come in and settle in straight away, then brilliant. But coming into this intensity and this level can be a challenge. But yeah, you can see as he's coming off the bench or starting in games, he's starting to settle in well. And he scored a really good goal. He made 2 great passes in the game that could have set up goals. So he's a really gifted technical player, and I expect his physicality to get better and better as he adapts to the intensity of the British game.
Just on Tynecastle, it's going to be a tough game, but you've got some fond memories there. It was your first ever league win with Celtic at Tynecastle, and obviously you won the league that season, winning 5-0 there, so you're just looking forward to getting back there into that environment. It's brilliant. Listen, they're all tough games up here. There's never an easy game. You have to earn the right, and that'll be the same at the weekend. But we're entering into a run of games now, which is really exciting, and Tynecastle's the first of those. So we'll prepare for a tough game, but we'll look to work how we have been, and look to play with our intensity and our work rate, and hopefully then our quality can come through.
Brilliant. I'm just going to ask about Marco Tilio quickly. Obviously, we've not seen him yet this season. Obviously, had an injury before they came, and it's just about getting back fit. How is he doing? How is he looking?
Yeah, it's just time. I think he will admit it himself. It's been a really, really hard transition for him. Just the intensity of the game is totally different to what he's been used to. So it's been a challenge for him in training. Like you say, it's always difficult. You're a new player coming into your club, and then you end up being injured for virtually all of pre-season and into September. So he's starting to find his feet now in the last 3 to 4 weeks. It's going to take him more time. But yeah, I'm not in any big rush for Marco. I think that he'll bring himself to the team as quickly as he he can produce in training and over his time here. But he's adapting. But it's taken a wee bit longer for him, just purely because of the intensity of the game. It's totally different to where he's come from.
You mentioned yesterday that you were, away over the international break. What goes on when you're not here? What goes on that you have to deal with when you're away that can maybe, as your supposed time off gets affected?
Just repeat that.
So I'll reword it. So when you're not here, what can go on that can lead to you having to deal with stuff when you're away from here?
Well, when I'm not here, it's an opportunity for other coaches to lead, and we obviously have a smaller group of players here. Obviously, I'll still have a handle on things when I'm away. I think one of the big things for a manager is you need to have resilience in this game. In order to have resilience, you need to manage that. And sometimes that's coming away from the pressure and the stress of it all, and have a clear head to think. And I've always found that very, very important as a manager. And then like I said, there's a small group of players that are here. They get the chance to train, and then obviously I then come back in and pick it up from there. So sometimes it's also just it's like when the school teacher wasn't there at class. Sometimes it was great, wasn't it? When he wasn't there, you could relax a wee bit, and then when he came back in, you were maybe got it.
Just lastly, obviously when you're stepping away, and you said you spoke about it's maybe getting a clear head. Is the mental factor a big part for you in terms of success?
It's massive.
It's massive. I think what you learn with experience, and especially if you ever have tough moments, it's a wee challenging start for us. But what going away and being able to reflect allows you to tap back into your knowledge again, to have patience and composure, and poise is very important as a manager. There's times, of course, you need to be harsh, but it's also important to have that composure, and being able to go away and have that period to think for a few days I think is very, very important, to take yourself out of the stress of it all. The stress never really disappears; it's just at different levels. So when you go away, you're still thinking about it, but you can think clearer. And that's always something that I think is very important for any leadership role. So, but yeah, there's so much to contend with now as a manager, psychologically, but still the best job in the world.